Akali versus Azir. So it's been a counter for a while. I feel like Azir kind of doesn't really care about what he's playing against generally, but Akali can be one of those picks that can be very annoying, and you can sometimes be in danger. So Orianna just not picked up, ignored for now.
Yeah, I feel like you need, there's a certain level of hyper mobility to keep up with Azir. The old school counter was Zed, but you just need not just a level of mobility, but you need even more than that to get on top of an Azir, and Akali does have that. So it looks like T1 going to start banning away Jarvan here. It's Poppy in the jungle banned away by KT. And it looks like the Orianna not getting banned away yet, so expecting this Akali to be mid lane.
Yeah, maybe not expecting Perfect to be able to pick up the Akali here in the top lane.
Definitely not the pick you'd sort of expect to be in his wheelhouse. Do see the Xin Zhao coming in as a ban, so a lot of jungle picks thinned out here in terms of the pool. We have Best as well that we saw banned. I mean, technically also a jungle ban. When we think about it, 3 jungle bans from T1 banned, 4 so far banned on KT's side, so really heavily pinching the pool here.
I do wonder how deep it is going to go. What level of jungle pick are we going to see as Pantheon also taken away? So they don't want to give that Pantheon here on R4 to KT.
If we include fearless bans, that's 10 jungles out the pool so far. We're not counting Rumble in the jungle, because that's not been a thing for a while. And that's 10 junglers being taken out. So full expectation here for KT is it's going to snap up whatever jungler they're prioritizing here right now. There is still stuff like Aatrox available, which you've seen in the jungle. Kiana,
Sejuani. And there was a lot of discussion when Perfect there, so maybe trying to figure out what kind of melee tops he can play. Or even if he can play the Akali as well.
We actually haven't had a Sejuani game yet in the LCK Cup, which is crazy for anything with LCK in the name.
Yeah.
To not have a Sejuani game.
Not the most meta nowadays.
Yeah. And they are actually going to go for the Gwen. So this is interesting because I feel like, it was just a hover. I was feeling like the Akali being in the game would kind of discourage you from taking the Gwen, because if the Akali gets flexed into it, it's going to be a bad time. We get the Zehen coming in, and then Mundo comes through. Now I imagine
he knows how to play it now.
Oner has been. We at least know this isn't his first game. He got that out the way in World's knockout stages, and it looks like we might just get Rek'Sai coming through. Obviously, great at stacking the passive for the Sejuani, and pretty durable in the top side. And Perfect also did have a good game earlier in the LCK Cup where he's kind of just impossible to shove out. I believe it was in the series against DNS, where later in the game, he was just impossible to shred through. Now, they do have a good amount of
system. The telecom war. Off we go, game number 2. Game number 1 was very straightforward. It just felt like a slow and steady collapse of KT by the hands of T1. And I'm hoping that this one has a little bit of a back and forth, so it can be a little bit more interesting. Trying to clear out that forward ward, not quite able to, as Keria very scary at level 1.
Oh, and both AD carries going Ghost here. And not going barrier. So we've seen a lot of barrier for that extra trading power in lane, often using the barrier for tempo and the survivability in team fights, right? But both going Ghost here, valuing that extra mobility.
And Ghost is playing in the game.
Maybe a tribute to him, actually, in the summoner spells.
It has to be. There's no other explanation. Well, it's pretty good on both of them, actually, because especially Unar, you pop your ult, you want to get in there.
Yeah.
Got those first 3 crits.
I think this is one of the things with playing Nico into a range champion, especially these champions like Lulu, or I mean, Karma's even worse. But these champions who have shields and a decent amount of harass, where if you miss your skill shots, or they shield a harass and then just poke you back, it feels so bad because you don't have any sustain as the Nico, you don't have shields to mitigate the damage. You don't have like actual healing sustain like an Ami. So you have to land the poke, but then also avoid taking damage in return, or you're just going to have a bad time. Which is why Nico always worked so well when she's playing into a melee champion, because you get that combination of harass, and you have the engage that every LCK support, I mean, honestly, every competitive support loves.
Yeah.
But you see here in this trade, that was a good trade on the Keria, but it's still aiming goes to a down in terms of health.
Yeah. Always just feel like they're not going to be taking good trades with the Lulu that came in. The priority on the Nico that we knew was going to come out because it was not banned immediately just gets countered by Keria. We saw him play Lissandra in game 1, which is a very out of left field pick, but obviously very good into Rakan. And then now he's playing kind of the most basic Enchanter in the Lulu, and he's going to make your life hell in both games. It's not going to be easy. As Oner's down here, but so is Cuz. So I don't think we're diving anytime soon.
Yeah, but it's always good when you see, you know, Oner pathing down and making sure he's just there. He's just present, so Cuz can't do anything to disrupt the 2v2. And getting damage on the tower already for FaZe and Keria is great. Obviously, getting that at first plate, the extra gold, but also the extra progression towards the quest from that first plate is really valuable. And Faker again, I mean, it is Azir into Akali. They're getting some good early progress in the lane. And we did see last time when this matchup happened between Chovy and Vikla.
Yeah.
You know, Vikla got that really good early trade level 1, which I assume didn't happen between BDD and Faker based on how the lane is now.
Doesn't seem that way, as now we do have the Sejuani and the Rek'Sai trying to get to work on the door, and the flash comes in, and he is so dead. First blood will go over to Cuz on the Sejuani. Feeling very comfortable on this pick.
Yeah, you saw actually the passive. It wasn't fully stacked for Darn, and then it started to drop because he was focused on running and not maintaining it. I'm not sure 100%, but if he'd been able to have it stacked, I think he might have been able to just get away from that one. But it's pretty low, like he zoned off the wave. I don't think he would have been able to stack it in time regardless. But here, he's trying to run away, it times out, and then he's just running. And without that res being able to come in, he's kind of just doomed, so... Pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
BDD getting a good trade there, back in return. I think this is the most annoying thing about Akali. Even though they nerfed Doran Shield and Second Wind, it still just feels like he put so much damage into her, and she still just doesn't run out of health.
It's Akali and Yone, I feel like, that are the worst with this, where it's like, they just don't die. They have insane amounts of mobility. You can harass them forever. Eventually, it feels like you just run out of mana.
That is one nice thing, though, is that they made it so the mid-quest, you get contribution towards it based on damage dealt to your lane opponent.
Yeah.
So you're rewarded for harassing them. Even if it feels like you're not doing damage, you see it ticking up.
And Deliverance does come in. Perfect's only level 5. It's not kill pressure just yet, but there's a massive wave coming in here. And that's going to be a plate already going the way of Doran. So he's going to be happy with the trade regardless.
Yeah, and he's ahead in terms of farm. You know, Perfect's going to be able to pick up a little bit of CS on this wave, but down the plate already. So Doran, despite that gank, able to do pretty good in the 1v1 matchup.
All right, BD does not have flash, and he's trying to go for a trade here up against Faker. Does utilize that perfect execution and does get away. As now Pei's getting engaged on down in the bottom lane. Is going to try to flash over this wall, and that he will. The stun does come in at range. Big rotation down from Oner and Faker, but the disengage does come through from KT.
Yeah, good gank here from Cuz to get that summoner spell. And obviously Oner able to find something on a BDD in the mid lane with the setup from Faker. Not the best mid-jungle combo in terms of gank pressure onto Akali. You know, Azir, Mundo.
Yeah.
But they'll make it work. And Faker will get that crystalline overgrowth. So doesn't quite get the plate, but very close to it.
Perfect once again, just going for a little proxy in the wave again.
I mean, of all champions, you know, other than like Singed, I think Rek'Sai one of the better ones to just do this because it's almost... Oh!
Faker might just die here. He has to flash very close. As the 5-point strike almost caught him on the backside of that right before he flashed away.
Yeah, I think if BDD had flash, I think he's just dead. I think he just flashed Zeus and he's just down. So that was close for Faker to going down. And showing that despite Faker definitely having the edge in game 1, it's still a very close fight between these two mid laners.
Yeah, BDD's after blood after the way that game 1 went. Getting solo killed, BDD does not like to lose the lane. But that he did to Faker's Rise in game 1. So trying to get revenge. Of course, BDD was the first one who had to flash away early on. But able to even it up without his own flash is always a really good feeling. Especially as he gets closer to that first item.
Was it because going the Zeke's first item on Sejuani? Obviously the Zeke's did get changed this season to now have ultimate haste on it. So we'll have that Glacial Prison available more frequently.
Does seem like a very good item for a champ like Sejuani.
Wait, is Sejuani's Glacial Prison or is that Lyssandra's?
It's Sejuani.
And what's Lyssandra's called again?
I don't know.
You're the play-by-play. You're supposed to know
Ask
this.
Atlas. I don't know. He knows all the names. You gotta put in some studying. But I do know that
oh, here's his Frozen Tomb.
Is
here's his
Sejuani.
Frozen Tomb, and here's his Glacial Prison. Okay, that makes sense.
It does. KT are getting to work here on this first Drake, and Oner says you can have it. We don't have Canyon in this game to throw down a flag and steal it twice.
Yeah, fortunately, that's still just insane that happened twice. And on the Baron as well. But Cuz looking for Fake here. No flash.
Oh, and it's going to land. There you go. The Glacial Prison comes through, and Faker just trying to sweep him away. He's taking damage from the ranged minions even, and he is without a dash. Eventually just gets hit by the flail of Cuz and gives the assist over to BDD.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a serious question. Did Zeke's always look that cool?
I think so, yeah.
I feel like
Pretty sure.
Maybe it's just because I often see it in the middle of a fight, and you can't see the full animation. But
also, he kind of used to make fun of it.
Yeah.
The engage comes in. Pays, though, is just standing and firing. And yes, he gets a kill, but aiming is eating good tonight as he picks up the 80 carry. Not going to get carry as the glitter lance slow is too much, but still able to farm up and push the wave.
Yeah, I think KT happy with that generally in the fact that aiming gets to stay in the lane. Even though it's a 1-for-1, both AD carries get the kills. Aiming gets to stay in the lane and push it in, but Ghost does burn his flash there. So in terms of summoners, T1 trade up, but in terms of aiming, get into, push in, get a plate, I think, here. Yeah, and some extra farm. Definitely a trade up for KT. So good engage there from the KT bot lane, showing what the Nico can do. Yeah, I think it's just because you see it so often in the middle of the fight, but this cool glow, how it's got like the red half and
Actually,
do you not think it looks cool? I
think it does. Cool I think it looks a little updated.
Yeah,
it's got like the fiery
on the
glow.
ice. I swear it didn't look that cool before.
On the edge, like I think it has some extra special effects.
Yeah. Does it do more damage? No, it just looks a bit cooler.
It feels like it does more damage now,
and that's the
because it looks cooler.
Yeah, that's it's got better vibes, and that's really what we're about here at the LCK.
Yeah, tempo vibes, regular vibes,
damage vibes. Yeah, it's important. And now comes with that ultimate haste, so can't complain about that. Perfect is really just he knows what his goal is this game.
Yeah.
Doran is like, guys, I don't know where my laner put. Oh, there he is. He's doing something. Very interactive lane, top lane, when you're playing against a Rek'Sai.
And eventually, they'll finish their quests, and maybe then Perfect won't proxy as much.
Is he too deep, by the way?
No, I think it's fine.
For the lane quest, like, I'm not sure if it stretches that far, all the way past the tier 2.
I would assume it does, just because he is proxying there and not in front of the tier 2.
That is a bold assumption to make. I'm not 100% sure. I know it stretches between the tier, like where the jungle cuts in between the tier 1 and the tier 2.
Yeah.
I know it stretches there, but I don't know if it stretches between the tier 2 and the inhibitor turret. I don't know. But he was very deep there. I guess we'll see if his quest finishes much later. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have it mapped in my head exactly where all the limits are for the lanes.
Yeah, weird. We do have the flash coming in, but Pays in a bunch of trouble, slowed for basically forever. Even the wild growth, not enough, and the root comes through, and Ghost will rightfully take the kill. Justice for supports. as Ghost is picking up, and once again, Paze goes down second time. Now the engage coming in on a Keria, but not quite going to land that time around.
But, you know, you're still happy with that, getting flashes from both the bot laners, kill onto Paze as well. KT making this work. You know, we talked about the bot lane, expecting the pressure from Paze and Keria in the 2v2, and, you know, they have had that in the early levels, but punishing them, burning the summoners, getting the kills, this is what we want to see the KT bot lane duo do. And especially when we get to team fights and you have things like BDD and the Sakali being a real threat, it's definitely going to be a bit worrisome. This is just Puz making a straight beeline. The ult doesn't connect, but the slow is still there. And even though Paze flashes, Cuz flashes to follow with the W, and then that root just clipping him right at the end. You know, it's also the fact that Paze didn't opt to go cleanse in this game.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cleansable stuff.
I mean, against the Sejuani, I think in general, we always used to see cleanse. Just to respect the Sejuani, and it has been a little while since we have seen Sejuani here, but it's the LCK.
And no Mikhail's rush either.
That's what I thought he would build Mikhail's. Like, I thought, okay, you're going Ghost, and your support's going to get Mikhail's to shore that up.
He's also going into Ghost on the other team.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So Cuz coming in here, giving the Heartsteel stack over to Oner. But will Oner go down is the question as the flash comes in, and he's just supremely dead. And even a root here onto Keria, dash over the wall. Keria, no flash once again, has the Turelias. And he's going to be okay for now.
Oh, are they... Okay, I thought they were going to just push the wave in and try and trap them, but no, they have better things to do with their time. They're not going to spend a
second Drake
30-40 second timer just to make sure they get the kills. BDD's looking here but doesn't have ult, so I think he's just trying to scare Faker away.
He has double buff, but yeah, no ult, no gunblade even, so kind of just
I thought he was
trying to get a good trade on a Faker.
But Fake has ult, so probably better not to. A wise decision from BDD, not just to send it. But yeah, this has been a good start for KT. 2 dragons in pocket as well. Unfortunately for them, it's an Ocean Soul. But Ocean Soul with Rek'Sai Sejuani can be a little bit annoying, but still, it's definitely not the soul you were hoping for in this game.
Still, it's going to be a nice amount of value.
It's a bit of a reprieve for T1. I think there are other souls where you're like, oh man, we really are in trouble. But
ooh, the ult and the flash to come out here from Faker in live.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the replay, Oner just died.
Yeah, because stuns to get the passive, ults to follow up, and then BDD like kills him before the R2 even comes in. So yeah, they are getting a red-white access on this turret.
How did this happen?
Just a awkward reset time, I think, after they took the dragon.
It's just a first turret for T1, just based on that. And I mean, KT had a really nice lead, and now the ult is gonna miss, and Paze just goes out of there. Ult also not gonna land from Cuz as BDD is here though, and I think they should be able to get him down as the Shuriken does miss, but the job is done regardless. 2 kills for KT at least to get some revenge.
Yeah, that was a little... Oner is very healthy, and they are not, but I think there's just too many KT members around. And
I think he just wanted to stop the back.
Yeah, we'll achieve that. Perfect's gonna have to move in to defend mid, but that does leave top vulnerable, so Doran gonna get some plate damage here. It was a little messy, that fight. Did look like it could have been a bit scary for KT with some misexecution, some skills not connecting, but just brute force is enough to make it work. And the bot lane for T1 getting punished again. Paze in particular being targeted heavily and paying for it, but it's still...
turrets.
Yeah, T1 getting another tower. BDD has no ult here, so I don't think he can get the kill. And this kind of feels like one of those games where you look at the top of the screen and you see 7 kills to 1. You see 2 dragons in advantage to KT. But the goal difference isn't massive. It really isn't. And it's a little worrying for KT. Because if you do something like this, where you're missing both your big ults, in a 5v5 team fight, you could lose the game of it, right? Yeah. This still worked, right? You had enough members, BDD comes in, one-shots them. This play is still fine. But you do something like that in a big team fight when you're only 1,000 gold ahead, it could really cost you. Especially because it's an Ocean Soul, so you can't just rely on stacking dragons to win you the game here. It gives T1 a lot more space. KT definitely ahead in this game, but not by as much as maybe you'd hope. based on how many winning plays they've made so far.
Yeah, it just feels like when you look at all the fights, it's like, oh yeah, obviously KT are dominating them. And then you look at the 0.8k gold lead, it's like, wait, how did that happen? Well, 2 turrets down, all the plates, obviously. And, I mean, you look at the farm, like a little bit more for the Mundo, a little bit more.
I mean, you look at
the Azir.
Look at where the gold is. The only person with an actual sizable gold lead is Cuz. And it's Sejuani. It's like, who really cares that much?
She's going to press her ult. She is going to be pretty much unkillable with that Koenig Rookhorn.
You know, you say that, but into T1's team specifically, they have a lot of damage. I don't think anyone on KT's going to be unkillable.
Well, at a certain point in the game, sure.
I think...
Although, with only Koenig Rookhorn and Zeke's, you're not doing all that great against the Aphelios.
Yeah, into the Zehen as well, into the Azir. I think, you know, you'd be surprised. Even if Fed Sejuani's not going to feel that durable. There's a lot of DPS in T1, so... a little bit worrisome, you know, but it's still KT ahead. And I think the big points in this game are we have Dragon up in a minute. We'll see what T1 have to do around this. Do they just forego it? Do they just go, hey, we don't actually need to fight this? Or do they look for an angle? Because I think if KT get a big blowout fight win on the back of this, that could be huge. That could be something that leads to them getting Baron. That could be something that leads to them really snowballing the game. One thing to note is when we look at the Summoner stock check, we have flashes up on everyone right now apart from Faker and BDD. Ghosts coming up, I think it should be up in time. But the ones that aren't up are Faker and BDD. I think Faker's won't be up in time. Faker's not as much, even Azir, you know, I don't think it's that big of a deal not having flash. But the main thing is Pays has his up. Because that would be a big safety concern.
Yeah, definitely would. I mean, we saw what happened in the bottom lane without his flash, where he had the wild growth and he still got run down.
Even with his flash.
Even when he did flash away, it was like, yeah, you're still dead, buddy.
Yeah.
The chase potential of Sejuani and Unara can be pretty rough to deal with. So it does look like T1 absolutely wants to fight over this one. Trying to get some wards down and trying to push out mid and bot. Perfect, just looking to TP into this play eventually. As BD looking to isolate Faker, he's going to get that barrier away from the Verdant barrier. Getting pretty low is this Drake now as the TP is coming in from Faker up to the top side of the fight. And now the engage from Doran going to get onto that backline. And the steal from Oner just gets it. A pretty nice engage from Ghost, though, as the sweep comes in, but Faker is so low. And the chase is on. Flash over the wall from aiming. That's going to be another kill. Takes down Keria on top of it. Double for aiming. As T1, they get the Drake, but they lose 3 for it as KT extend their lead.
And the super sub pays off. Ghost comes in and gets a massive ult there onto T1's backline. This is exactly the fight KT needed to continue the momentum. Getting a huge win there. They don't get the Dragon, unfortunately, but honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. They get the mid lane tier 1, they get a bunch of gold, and now they're starting to build up an actual sizable lead. We see here, Faker TPs to join the team and Ghost. Look at this angle. Perfect gets the initial knockup, and the slide-in flash catches basically everyone you want there. And it gives this window for Perfect ability to fly in. Keria even polymorphs BDD and it just can't do anything. Aiming, sliding over the wall to meet them as they kite away. So now that 800 gold lead we saw, 4,500, that is a sizable gold lead. You can see on the graph, it's reflected. This is what you needed to really snowball the game.
Yeah, and you were talking about the soul. I mean, it's one Ocean Drake that T1 got. Like, that's not worth.
Yeah.
Actually, any individual Drake, I think, after that would not be worth, given the size of this lead. As T1 say, cool story, Valdez. We're going to just start the Baron now. It's a T1 Baron.
Uh-huh.
And no TP on Perfect. But this takes a very long time, this day and age. This is not the T1 Barons of old. So they're just going to kind of send it and look to turn. Ghost getting a little bit low, but Keria as well. And that's going to be the end of one of the supports as in goes toward into that backline, just immediately dies. No res for him, and the T1 Baron looking more like a KT Baron at this point as the knockup comes in right before Faker can sweep them away.
Shuriken?
As we do see the Aphelios doing a lot of work, but not quite enough. BDD cleans it up. And that is a 5-for-0 ace in favor of KT.
Back-to-back, just perfect fights for KT. You know, it just didn't look like they had the game under their control, and I felt like it came down in these critical moments, and they do not miss a beat. And now 15-1, Baron in hand, this is exactly what they needed. BDD with a great angle here. Keria has to self-wild growth to peel, and even with that, he's getting annihilated. Doran goes in, but the rest of the team is retreating, so he just gets taken out, and immediately 2 members down. The rest of the team is hesitating, not sure what to do. Do we back away? Do we contest? Perfect flies in and finds Faker, and BDD look, connects the Shuriken onto Pays, and immediately Pays follows the fate of the rest of his team. And KT, you know, from a game that felt like it was still a bit up in the air, they have firm control now.
Yeah, a couple of team fights where you absolutely crush your opponents feels pretty good. I think Ghost died to the Baron, yeah. That's fine. He's an eco. Don't really need him to have Baron buff. KT already got everything that they would like. And, you know, on the side of T1, this has unfortunately become a little bit of a pattern where they are coming into series as the big favorites, but drop a game up against DRX. And now looking like it's going to happen against KT. They have 1 kill. And KT are coming in here and declaring, hey, we can beat you guys if you do not treat us with enough respect.
I can only blame myself as someone who talked about them being, you know, locked in, serious in game 1.
Yeah.
You did warn me.
I did warn you.
I did ignore you.
Not the first time.
Not the last time either. Yep. But yeah, I mean, one person I really want to give a lot of praise to is Ghost. I feel like on this Nico pick, I was like, right, you're picking this Nico, you into Felios Lulu, you're not going to have complete pressure in lane, you need to make this pick work, find the big engages, and he really has. So Ghost showing up in a big way. 80 carries, roll swap into supports. Yes, they can absolutely do that.
Oh, we got the Grim Deliverance coming in here. Doran wants to punish Perfect, who is just going to tunnel away.
This champion is just... It's so uninteresting. He spent 80% of the laning phase just proxying, and he just tunnels away like 3 times when you try and kill him. It's so stupid.
And it's not that easy to get behind.
Okay, at least it's not the farm alarm when he just used to ult and just come back from miles away. Can you imagine if top Rek'Sai was a thing and that ult was still a thing? How obnoxious it would be.
You get him to like 5%, he just barely gets away. Backs. TPs with his ult.
Yeah.
You do it again, he TPs back with his TP.
Oh, man.
It's not fun.
No. Well, we don't have that to deal with, but it's still pretty frustrating. And right now, KT just trying to keep up pressure with his Baron. I think T1 doing a good job of clearing out the waves for now.
Yeah, they're doing what they can. But at the end of the day, it's looking like a third Drake for KT. And, you know, 9,000 gold to lead. I don't see T1 and their immense amount of damage doing all too much from this far behind. I think they just die before they're given any amount of time to deal damage.
Yeah.
And those targets that they're trying to deal damage to are even more tanky, have more levels.
I think the main thing as well is that Perfect and BDD are very slippery, so when you are behind compared to them, it's really hard to just actually consistently sit there and hit them, you know? Like, you can shred them given time, but they're not going to give you time.
Yeah. I mean, Pays is on 2.5 items. You got Faker sitting at 0-3 with a Banshee Veil. Like, those are not champs at this point in time that are farmed enough to cut through the lead that KT has.
I mean, BDD has a 2-level lead, so does aiming. I mean, that's a big thing, is the XP advantages that KT has as well over their counterparts. Pretty sizable. You know, we talk about how the gold from Baron, the global gold, was reduced, but the XP wasn't. So KT getting a lot of value from that and pulling ahead. Sizable gold and XP advantages. Sometimes we have games where you do have a gold lead, but the XP lead isn't that significant, but this one, it's feeling pretty painful right now.
Yeah, a couple items we see on the side of KT, like aiming finished, a mortal reminder. So even Mundo isn't that tanky. And
I feel like Mundo's one of these champions as well, where like you hit a point where if you're just ahead of the curve, you're just too tanky to cut through, and your healing kicks in, and he just feels immortal. But then if you're behind, you just die before the healing can really find its footing, right? You know, you want ult when you're low, but you'll just die, right? Especially when you have things like Rek'Sai ult and Akali ult that are actual executes. So I think because he's behind the curve in this one and doesn't have much armor, he will just die.
Yeah. Expecting that to happen for sure.
I anticipate that.
We are looking at some of the levels here. BDD, namely, very far ahead, 2 full levels, aiming basically the same. Most damage dealt is Doran into a Rek'Sai.
Yeah, I think whenever you see top laners having the most damage when they're into a Rek'Sai, it's just fake. It's fake. It's just, it's even more.
Are top laners even real?
It's even more than like when you see damage into tank. It's just damage into Rek'Sai because he just soaks up the damage, heals up, and it's like, okay. That's how it goes.
Sustains from 0 to 100.
Yeah. Aiming picked up Infinity Edge, so I mean, look at his items and look at Pei's items. Doesn't seem that fair, in all honesty. To be fair, Pei's did just pick up Agility Cloak, so he's not too far away from LDR, but still, this is a very strong Yunara right now. Baron up in about 15 seconds. The pace of the game has slowed down a bit. You know, we had the last Baron buff time off, and it's just KT hasn't been able to really push the pace forward. So at least T1 have had a bit of a reprieve to stall things out.
Yeah, just feels like they're desperately clawing at some items that are barely out of reach, namely that LDR. As we're going to keep zooming in on these fights here, there's little skirmishes, even though they don't really matter.
I see you want to trade against me. I will just walk away and heal up to full. Outplayed, buddy.
Yeah. Executioner's calling into Rek'Sai is also funny because she just waits for the buff to get off as ult comes in onto Oner and he flashes away.
That's my kills down from Keria, so won't have that option to get whoever out of CC and also flash from Oner, which does make it a lot easier to set up for the Baron if you want to go for that, or Dragon for the Soul. Obviously, the Mundo has no dashes, so you just need to walk over there yourself. So I think KT could honestly look to really bait this one, force them over. There is a blue trinket that just got used there. I think it was Faker's.
Yeah, somebody did throw it in there.
Yeah, they still have Pazes available, so I think they're going to move over, try and force another one out, and then once those are both down, that's where it becomes a little bit scary.
So that Doran is kind of the guy that needs to push forward and check some of these brushes, just dashing into them.
That's Paze just used his, so now is the point you don't have those to check them. I imagine they'll either really start to bait it or start it. Okay, they are starting it, and as you can see, T1 are like, he just can't contest. We actually can't get over there. So, well, that's Baron.
Yeah, you could face check, but most likely you just die and they still get Baron. So at this state of the game, it doesn't really feel like a good steal angle. You've got a Mundo without flash, unless he's going to walk in a straight line towards the Baron and just steal it away somehow, which is not going to happen. There's just no point in actually contesting it. So the Baron goes over to KT. BDD is level 18.
Yeah. Perfect's level 19. Aiming's almost level 17, so he is really far ahead of Paze right now. Dragon is up at, you know, yes, it's not great giving Soul over, but it's an Ocean Soul. There's a lot of other Souls where it feels so much worse if they got it. I don't think you fight this, you just let it go.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. You need more items. You know, BDD can't gain any more levels at least.
When you're 10,000 gold down, they have Soul on Baron, that is just what you gotta say. It is what it is. That's the only thing you can't say in that moment.
Yeah. It's that or, you know, FF go next, which of course in pro doesn't happen. But they will say, you know, go next in their minds. As KT looking to push with this Baron. Not all too aggressive from their standpoint, but still have all the buffs on the map currently.
That's the thing. Defending the base and stalling out isn't impossible for T1 because KT's siege is not great. They're pretty short range. Like the only like champion who can actually walk up and hit the towers is basically aiming a ghost. And neither of them want to really be that close to the tower against T1's comp, so you know, even with the Baron, it's not the easiest to crack the base of T1, so this might end up, they need to only turtle for another minute to get through the Baron buff. Yeah. And then you just play for the Elder flip, I guess.
Yeah, this Baron buff is really just doing nothing.
Okay.
TP's away from BDD.
Yeah, I mean, play it safe.
That's fine.
He did. I think he deep pushed the waves a bit to buy some time. That tower, you know, it's so hard to defend the ones outside the base, so just let that one go.
Also, at the end of the day, like, there was so much passivity in the last, like, 5 to 7 minutes. They haven't burned any summoners. Like, Paze is sitting here with Ghost, Flash, and Mikhail's available.
They did get Oner's Flash, so that's still down.
Well, yeah,
no,
but,
it's
like,
not the worst to be
that's
down.
literally it.
Like, look, Faker just cleared 2 cannons out. Paze is clearing minions.
You're pushing into Azir Aphelios, and if you're not going to hard engage into the turret, they're just going to clear against Baron buff.
Once everyone is full build, right, then gold is meaningless. So I think that's T1's game plan.
Just wait another 15 minutes. Okay, there you go. I mean, they're going to finally press their buttons and engage and get some space on this mid turret.
Okay, that was good. Made some progress. And they get an inhib tower. Oh, well, it's been rebuilt. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, Azir can do that too. Faker is trying to deal damage. Level 20 perfect. It's not going all Sue.
Okay, but the Baron's down, and it's only one inhib tower broken, one inhib broken. So I think, honestly, still pretty defendable for T1. They're really stalling this game out and making KT work for it. But now Perfect's got an inroad here.
All right, they're going to actually try to engage on a perfect, and
that feels bad.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
Oh, that is such a beautiful statement. Who do you think would say it at that moment? Would it be Oner?
On T1?
Yeah. Would you
probably Oner?
Coach voice in? Would it be Tom?
I'd probably say Oner.
Yeah, Oner just says it is what it is.
I think if there's one guy on the team that's saying it is what it is, it's Oner.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially like playing Mundo and falling behind early and being 0-2. Just walking around, farming, and doing nothing else.
Just says it is what it is.
It is what it is. Hopefully I'm not playing Mundo in Game 3.
The one with the biggest goal deficit in this game.
Yeah.
Classic. We just saw Perfect and Cuz pick up Randuin's at the same time, so I hope Paze enjoyed not doing damage, because he's now not doing damage even more.
He's reaching the negatives soon.
Also, I mean, Doran has Sundered Sky as well, so reduces that crit damage, I guess. But mostly stopping Paze's damage. It's 2 minutes until Elder Dragon. And when was the last time we saw T1 leave their base?
Yeah, I don't know. I do... Yeah, I kind of fell asleep there for a little bit. So, you know, to be honest, I don't really remember.
Micro-napping, you know? Is that a new thing you've picked up since you became a father?
My eyes are open, but I'm not actually awake. And, I mean, Cuz gonna get the flash at a pace. That's what you gotta do. You know, I was saying before.
Micro-advantages. Oh, yeah. Oner?
Oner does have his flashback. Might need to use it here if he doesn't want to die. He's just going to throw his ult up and say this is good enough.
Okay, he tanked
Walks
it. Nice.
It off. Yeah.
He just shook it off. He just said it is what it is, and he just powered through it. I like that energy.
Yeah.
He's full health again.
They're just waiting. They're just waiting for KT to actually try to break the base. And this time, 2v1 on a Doran, maybe, but they're just going to hit the turrets instead.
He has GA and passive, so he's really hard to kill. But, you know, unfortunately, the tower isn't.
It's a lot of PvE in this game.
2 inhibs down. That last inhib, they really need to defend that. Because if they lose that and KT just get the Baron, the Elders doesn't even matter. They can just...
Well, they do have 2 inhibs.
They have bot inhib up.
Yeah.
Okay, they still have the up. Sorry.
They got the turret.
My mistake.
And I feel like KT is just sitting here without Baron buff and saying we're just going to... Well, they end up leaving because the Baron is spawning and they kind of have to, but they only got 1 inhibitor. I mean, this is one of the slowest, most methodical pushes I've ever seen.
KT getting flashbacks to the World Finals and just thinking that they're back on that stage. And like, we need to close.
We gotta lock in,
We gotta lock in. It's super serious.
Yeah. It's game 2 of the best of 5. No mistakes.
They got the Baron. BDD is
TPing home.
Did he need to teleport out there? I guess he felt he did because he was being ran at, but they've left their base. You know, they're going on a nice, leisurely, stroll around the rift. They got some wards down.
They do have to fight for Elder.
Perfect.
That is the thing.
Going to try and take the inhib.
But Dorn's there with TP as well.
Yeah, so the Elder spawned.
Do you think 13,000 gold is enough for KT? Do you think they have a lead enough? Enough of a lead?
I haven't seen them fight in so long. Who even knows that he...
I have no idea. Oner's kind of tanky. He is going to get rooted up. BDD on the flank here. Very nice angle, but they are going to spot him. The engage comes in from Doran. Aiming is kind of just out of their pace. Mikhails comes in, a big sweep from Faker, but the wallets are so heavy as Oner gets the Elder Drake. They're down 13K. How are they winning?
There's no way. There's no way.
He just killed Aiming. There's no way. Okay, Oner's just going in, and BDD will be able to get away, but...
The base.
Why is T1 allowed to do this?
How is this happening? What does this mean?
This is so dumb. How are they able to do this? The inhibitor just went down.
This game needs to be studied.
Longest game here at the LCK Cup.
Yes, it is. You know, I didn't need that. I didn't need that.
We already knew.
It's been so long since Oner just... You know what? I am certain that he said after he smited this. His teammates said to him, they said, Oner, how did you get that? And he turned to them and he said, it is what it is.
That's the vibe you gotta have.
That's the vibe you gotta have.
Don't put too much thought into it. Don't think about the numbers. Just kind of send it.
He probably wasn't even looking at the health of the Elder Dragon. he just pressed the button, right?
Pure vibes, yeah.
Because he's counting the numbers. He's like, okay, 1500, okay, 1450, and then Oner's just like, yep, you know,
he's singing payphone.
Singing
leaning back in his chair. I mean, we got objective bounties now. We have Elder Drake for another minute.
Our objective bounties at the thing right now. They just got Elder.
So they take down mid turret. That's 800 more gold going over to team.
Look at their scoreboard. Look at their scores. No one even has 2 kills in their team, right? How is it? They're 3 and 7. Their team is 3 kills to 17. What perfect's backdooring? Someone needs to answer what is going on.
And Faker got interrupted there. This inhibitor is definitely going down. So props to Perfect for making it interesting here. You know, KT don't have enough of a lead. So need to resort to some shenanigans. He's going for a second inhibitor here. Faker's still trying to clear the wave.
What is going on? I'm not sure you can it is what it is yourself through 3 inhibitors being down. I think that might be a problem. Well, Elder's about a timeout. We have inhib timers, so it's a while before top inhibs back up.
Yeah. But it was 13,000 gold plus the lead. Now it's only 6.
That's a lot less.
At 40 minutes into the game, I mean, that's not a big deal.
True.
Like, KT are still ahead. But
also, I mean, you start to think, right, because he's full build now, right? And other members of KT are starting to approach full build. It's kind of, you know, gold's starting to get a little fake, a little less real.
Yeah. I mean, Pace is 5 items, right?
Guys,
he's doing damage.
Inflation has hit, right? I'm starting to question some of these numbers in the economy. I'm starting to question them.
Yeah.
You can't just give out 2,300 gold in objective bounties and still retain the same value of items. That's what we're trying to establish here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it all means. We'll have to do the math another time. But yeah, now like everybody's level 18 basically that needs to be level 18.
It is a 40-minute game and Faker still doesn't have his Rabadons. So that's slightly
pretty far away. I mean, he's going for Zhonya's probably, unless he wants to build a Rabadons outright.
He's
for
working
2350.
He's working on it.
Yeah, I actually like to see his gold number right now.
The thing is, he's not even that far behind in terms of gold compared to BDD.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, like, he's got a lot of farm, right, objectively. But it looks like his items are so much, it's just that I feel like the lack of hat just makes his items look so much less significant than BDD's.
Yeah.
There's something about it. It's like when an AD carry doesn't... Whoa, he just bought it outright!
Ooh, there you go!
Now his items look great!
Now we don't need to see the gold number.
Yeah, now his items look good. This makes a lot of sense. He was just storing up all that gold. He was sitting on the Seekers, and he wasn't finishing the Zhonyas because he still had the active. And realistically, you're probably only going to use that active once more per game, right? So, okay, well anyway, it's 40 seconds till Baron. It's a minute and a half till Elder.
And
what is going to happen?
They're going to fight it. I think they're going to...
I mean, I assume...
Maybe, do they give the Baron away and just try to fight Elder again?
I don't know, right? We're really... this is delving into the unknown at this point.
Uncharted territory.
Definitely uncharted territory at this point.
41 and a half minutes.
We've also established that Oner and Doran have gotten pretty darn tanky at this point. FaZe is starting to do a good amount of damage. Yeah, I think we talked about the scaling on T1. Have they gotten there?
They were just so far behind that it didn't matter for so long.
Backdoors. Doran, watch out!
Well, he can't hear you, Dan, but it's okay. He's going to Grim Deliverance his way out. We got a TP coming in, and he's got 2 reses available. As now they're trying to take a fight here. Pace does not care about Cuz right now. Has to flash away. And now in the 2v2 on the bottom side, Flash comes in on a Faker. He's getting pretty low. Go Sonya's! And perfect. Once the knock, down goes BDD! As his Sonya's ended second, so they're able to time the damage and take him down. And now the T1 Baron is looking pretty good. We got TP coming out here from Doran because Faker Oh, please, Oner. It is what it is, he says. And now they're just going to run towards the Elder, spawning in 5. But we have a flank coming out here. They're trying to actually win with this flank and maybe try to get on top of Paze, but I don't know if they can. Doran trying to get away, and I think he's just going to go down. There it is. They're looking for the flank. The Wild Growth comes out. Perfect flash from the side of Paze, who's kiting it out. And now KT have to back away. This Aphelios too scary. And they want to set up on the Elder.
Oh my god, what is happening in this game? Also, Perfect nearly interrupted Doran's TP. I was watching the minimap. He was like millimeters away. I also want to remind you, T1 still, no one has 2 kills on this team, by the way, yet. But it looks like KT are getting the Elder, so... Yeah, I mean, in theory, Elder's a very good buff, but it, you know, T1 got an Elder and couldn't end the game. But will KT be able to end the game off the back of this? I don't know. They just missed a... I mean, okay, I didn't think... Yeah, he did smite. He just missed a smite again.
Yeah. Well, it was the other guy this time.
Well, the other guy, but yeah. Junglers... Smite does 1,400 damage, guys. Come on.
Feeling a little nervous, perhaps.
Step it up. Okay, so he shovels him away. Shuriken connects. Doran does a little flip. Faker's playing melee mode.
And watch, because the Zhonya's comes up...
Yeah, slightly later. Gets
Faker
around.
can flash and Doran can kill.
Okay, they have Elder, so it's very scary.
But Baron buff minions may be able to push KT back.
They have no turrets. So they, well, they have the Azir turret. They can just walk up.
You were saying. I mean, the damage from Faker is there. They got to be careful. They can't just walk head first into this. Because, yeah, you have Elder, but you don't have everybody here. And it's like we're playing hot potato right now. KT can't hold on to this thing. This win that they had deep buried in their pockets is now in their hands and bouncing around, and T1 are desperately trying to grab it away. All right, well, Aiming's able to push down that Azir turret in the bottom side. We still have 2 inhibitors up. And 3 minutes on the top one. Paze has so much protection with Mikhails, with Lulu, level 18, shields for days.
They're just going to get triple inhibbed.
Yes, they are going to get triple inhibbed.
Okay, that's not good. But the super minions are going to take a while to come in. Paze.
He wants to try to engage on Aiming, who does have his flash, and Paze does not. So that's what they were looking for. The peel back here on a perfect. He's going to have to dash away. Okay, and eventually this Elder is going to, it's going to time out. 45 seconds. I don't think they can end the game.
I don't think the super minions get here before... I mean, they're pretty fast. They might touch just before the Elder times out. Oh, it's tight timing.
All right, they're trying to make it a game here because it's just going to go down, just gets burned as he tries to engage straight into an Aphelios and just dies. And now we got a flash on in the engage as the Aphelios ult is going to miss, but Ghost is also going to miss. BDD, Ghost Sonya's on the backside, he can't do the damage, Paze is alive! And now Doran is killing Aiming in the back line, who goes into the GA! And now they just keep one guy at home, and they end the game!
They just won this Elder! How are they winning this game? They're still not ahead in gold, they just equalized! The kill score is 9-18! What is this game?
I cannot believe what we're seeing here. BDD's got his hand on his head. I think he knows. They have 1 cannon minion in there, and they can just tank it.
I think they just end. To take away the lesson from this game, it's a clean ace. It's a clean game. And it is what it is.
It's a clean 2-0, nothing to see here. T1 take down KT in the telecom war, down 13,000 gold plus